fancy hat you got there, sir.
Oh, I thank you ever so much.
Hey, if we don't already have music, can I request Super Mario All-Stars?
Dog, we're a minute to showtime and you're trying to request music? You think I don't have it already set up by now? Come on, dude.
YouTube's a thing.
He's better than that.
All right. Well, looks like we've got the whole gang. Is everybody recording?
This is the first time we've had the whole gang in a while.
That's true.
Hang on, I was recording with the wrong microphone.
Oh, mother. It's okay.
I'm gonna have to reopen Audacity.
Meow. Meow.
Eugene, I'm recording with the right microphone now.
All right. Well, then let's get started. Hold on. I just got a request to our YouTube channel, so I have to send that over right now. There we go. All right, so let's sync up in 3, 2, 1.
Justin, I watch you while you sleep at night.
Just scared the dog.
Donkey Kong, where you at?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. About 2:15-ish.
Okay, 2:15. Adult Yoda, where are you at?
1:13.
Okay, and Cuter Ash, what are you at?
You damn right I am. 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. Mucho bueno. All right, well then let's get started. Let me find the music.
Se puede.
And away we go. Infendo.com is the place to go if you want to get everything that we are doing. Head to our Patreon, go to our Discord. Oh, fuck. Hold on. I forgot to push record on all the places. Hold on. Nope. That was trial run. Trial run, motherfuckers. Hold on. I'm going to have to hit record there. And have to hit record here. Already hit record on Zoom, so that's why it threw me off. And now we're ready to go. Let's go.
Here I was miming the intro.
You can mime.
And here I am miming my own business.
Ha! Fucking A. Here we go. Infendo.com is the place to go if you want to get everything that we are doing. Head to our Patreon, go to our Discord. Even Steve's Discord lives there. Go to Infendo.com today. I still have to fix that.
If Mario and Luigi were to do a podcast, it might sound something like this. Infendo Radio is on now.
Hello and welcome to Infendo Radio. This is episode number 570. Man, we've got a lot of episodes. I've been with these kids for a lot of those episodes. How are you doing tonight, Justin? You're looking mighty mustachy tonight.
Yeah, I haven't done much with it in the past few months. You know, having to wear a mask every day is kind of not really good for the mustache. Sure. I am doing well. Are we doing plugs first thing?
Always hit it.
All right. TheDisneyParkBench.com. It is up. It is live. There's a new blog up there. There's another one coming in the next, week or so. Starting a podcast soon. I got a co-host. We just got to schedule out when we're going to do it. And I finally got my green screen editing up and running. So expect to see some YouTube videos soon. So,
excellent.
TheDisneyParkBench.com. Keep an eye on it.
I will, you have to remind me, but I'll put a link to it in the show notes because I keep forgetting. Who is already in the show notes? Lucas, how are you doing tonight? I love that hat, by the way. If you're not watching the YouTube, you're missing out.
Oh, hi. Didn't notice you there. It's me, Lucas, one of the 4 co-hosts of Infendo Radio. I'm here tonight because I didn't sleep through the entire show like I did last week. I'm doing really well, Eugene. How are you doing, though? Nobody ever asks you that.
I'm doing really good, actually. I had some good sleep last night because I went to sleep at 9 o'clock. I'm an old man. So I feel energized and revigorated today. Lucas, though, I need you to reinvigorate me and tell me where the people can find you and all of your things.
Oh my lord, where can't the people find me and all of my things? I have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/c/LUKASPEACE, Lucas Peace. I post videos there that random people get in their feeds and then ask, why was this in my feed? Or why is this being promoted on YouTube? So if you want to go check that out and leave a similar comment, you can. I just uploaded a video on Pokemon Conquest. I dress up in a full Demon Pikachu face for the intro. It's a good time. I'm wearing a fish mask for my next video, so go watch all of that. I also have a...
Is it for real?
I love you. That man who you are hearing and who is going to give his intro in a second is Steve Peacock. I do another podcast with him that comes out every other week except when we forget to record it, called Hyper Voice, where we talk about incredibly detailed competitive Pokemon stuff. So if you're an even bigger nerd than the kind of nerds that listen to this show and you want to hear about that,
or host
you can go
it,
check that out as well. We don't have that much else going on. I have like a Twitter and stuff and a website, but that's way too many plugs. So let's just forget about all that for now, and Steve can plug whatever else he wants. But doing good.
Well, Steve, that was a good enough gateway into talking about yourself as any. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I never have to troubleshoot my computer minutes before the show. We were wondering if I was going to be able to get my computer running in time.
Because Steve uses a Dell. This episode of Infendo Radio brought to you by Dell Warehouse.
Anybody but Dell.
Yeah.
Actually, it's an HP. We use Dell at work.
So, but that being said, I got tired of doing all the plugs, so I just do one plug now. And this one plug will get you to all of the places you can find me at. For those of you that have never heard of a linktree.com, it's basically a website you can go to get links to everywhere you can find me. And that can be found at I'm just going to spell it out because it's easier. linktr.ee/Gentis, Gentas. It sounds terrible. It's really not, since Eugene is updating other links in the show notes. Maybe he would be so kind as to update that in the show notes as well. And you
I'll
can even
need
find
reminders
out all the
from everybody,
Hypervoice
and
stuff.
yes, we can do that. This is possible.
So, and that's the only thing I've got going.
Okay. Well, before we thank all of our patrons for the week, I'm going to tell you, the places you can find me, the places I want you to go. You already know where it is, people. Go to infendo.com. Make sure that you're clicking on the community tab if you want to join the Discord. All that fun stuff lives there. And then that's pretty much it. You can see maybe a YouTube video from Lucas pop into the feed there every so often. Who knows?
Oh yeah,
you might be surprised.
I post those on infendo.com too, because I'm incredibly greedy. So yeah, that's it.
Before we thank our patrons, we've already had a couple of questions in the chat, so let me just kind of get to them. Number one, Shanazzy1 asks, Justin, what are you playing?
Right this very moment? Oh, I wouldn't play anything during the show. Certainly
But
not
if you
anything that I could fit in my pocket.
If you were, what would you be playing?
I am currently playing my Super Mario Brothers Game and Watch here. I think
Fancy.
at least one of us also has one of these. Not at all difficult to get. I just went to Amazon and clicked the little button, and it was there in a few days. So,
Yeah, except for they're sold out right now.
yeah, they were sold out the first time I checked, and then I checked like the next day, and they were fully stocked. So, do not go to eBay to get one of these things.
I'm sure we'll hear more about it in the Change the System segment too, because I have a feeling one of our other co-hosts has one of those little doohickeys as well. Next question
we
is
have
not
another consumer whore on this show.
Next question is not so much of a question, but a comment from a coworker of ours, Chris. He says, "I dare Lucas to wear that hat during our morning meeting." So the
Chris, I never do the morning meetings with my video on, so challenge accepted.
I mean, I have funny hats that I can wear. I also have a wig.
All right, so we've stalled quite enough. Let's get our thank yous out of the way. Steve, please take it away.
Yeah, so we want to thank our producers once again for continuing to support us over at patreon.com/Infendo Radio. Our two producers are Slacker Monkey and Minus64. Slacker, I almost messed your name up again. One of these days I'll get it right. I've only read it 100 times. We also want to thank our 2 executive producers, the Brianosaurus and DJ, also known as Andrew Searson.
I thought you were going to say we have to thank R2-D2.
I mean, we can thank R2-D2 too.
You know what?
The coolest of the droids.
And thank you, BB-8, the underappreciated second fiddle to R2-D2.
Yeah, but what was the little one from the last movie?
There
was another little droid.
Alpha something.
BB-9E.
Alpha. Are you talking about that looks like a cone?
Yeah,
I like that
tiny
one.
cone
You know
guy.
what?
Yo.
Thank you, canceled Baby Yoda. If you weren't a genocidal monster, then I don't know where we'd be today. Stand back and stand by, buddy.
I don't know where we're at, but I think I know where we need to go. We
Off
need
the
to take
rails,
a break.
I think.
We're gonna be right back. We'll be back on the other side with Changes the System. Mwah.
Right back at you.
Good.
Hello, friends and family.
And
We love
screw
you.
you, enemies.
We are back. Let's go
We're
and
sorry.
find some new host sounds. We'll go with Lucas this time. We will.
That's what
I s-
happened.
I swear
start
my
the playlist
brain is
about
filling in
here.
the blank incorrectly all night tonight.
So I opened the YouTube thing to open the YouTube chat, and I heard all the sound from that, and I thought Eugene was purposely blowing our eardrums off. Then I realized it was just me.
Oy.
All right, so let me let this transition to the next song here. We'll go here. Okay, so let me turn it up a bit, and then we'll level it out, and then let's go. Let me make a new note in Audacity.
If your mom and your dad started a podcast, it might sound a little something like this.
You don't want to
No
know
radio
what that would sound
is
like.
on now.
And away we go.
A producer is like a director who doesn't actually have to do any work. If you want to be a producer for Infendo Radio, head over to patreon.com/Infendo Radio and pledge at the $10 level.
All right, we're back. It's time to change the system in which we talk about news and the games we've been playing and the things we've been buying this week, it looks like. But let's start with news. Lucas has a list. I like lists, and I like Lucas, so I'm going to toss it over to him. What you got for us?
Absolutely. My first bit of news is actually Animal Crossing news, which works well because you have a little bit of that too, and I don't know what you're talking about. So why don't you get us started with your Animal Crossing thing, and then I'll break into everything else I've got, because part of it's Animal Crossing related.
So if you guys remember in the beginning of the Animal Crossing fiasco, I guess, as it were, people were just mad because you couldn't transfer your save from like system to system.
Harumph.
People were angry?
Harumph, I said.
They were very unhappy about this. Well, Nintendo has heeded their cries, and people like Steve can now transfer an Animal Crossing save from his, 3DS, his Switch
it's
proper.
a really good system.
His Switch proper to his Switch Lite.
This will be the first time I'll have ever seen my island on TV. So, because I started it on my Switch Lite. So, and I missed the Halloween event because my Switch Lite was in repair for Joy-Con drift, of all things. Surprise, surprise. So, I'm excited. Finally.
Yeah, it seems like it should have been a thing from the get-go, so, slap on the wrist to you, Nintendo, figure that out next time, like, come on. But I'm glad it's finally working now, so that's definitely good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Save transfers and Lucas, so Lucas.
Hey. So in other Animal Crossing news, there was like a whole big financial briefing thing, which are always exciting and fun, kids. Financial briefing 2021. And during the financial briefing, the current president of Nintendo, whose name I will someday remember, but who I am reading is Furukawa, mentioned that the sales of Animal Crossing New Horizon are starting to dip, which makes sense as everybody in the known universe thought that out. But that it is also kind of a driving force for Nintendo Switch sales in Asian markets, which non-Japanese Asian markets to be specific, which usually don't sell systems quite as well. So they have said this very generic statement that should get Animal Crossing fans mildly excited, if nothing else. Going forward, we will continue to implement in-game events and would like to create a situation where consumers will keep enjoying the game for a long time. This will be a first year-end sales season for Animal Crossing New Horizons, and we hope even more people will take that opportunity to purchase the game. So, if nothing else, we know that Animal Crossing is going to be getting a bunch of updates for the foreseeable future, which, again, if you're an Animal Crossing player, should make you pretty happy, right? Because, hey, more stuff to do. And that's really all there is to talk about with Animal Crossing.
No,
Well, I mean, again,
there was a little more, actually.
Do tell.
Go ahead, Steve.
So the update that Eugene mentioned, where we're getting the save update, they also mentioned that there's going to be, I forget what they call it, but it's like a Turkey Day event and then a Toy Day event. So they also talked a little bit about that.
That makes sense. Toy Day is the in-game Christmas event, and Turkey Day is obviously Thanksgiving. So I've mentioned this before. I've made no secret that I was disappointed with, Animal Crossing New Horizons when it came out. All I want to hear is that they're doing something to fix like the villager interactions. Like I want an update that handles like the lack of personality that all the villagers seem to have. So the game feels a little more detailed. Yeah, as long as that's lacking, and it seems like they're going more for the approach of like filling the game with seasonal events, right? Like planned seasonal stuff. So I think as long as that's a thing, it's just not really.
I wonder what that would take. They would probably have to hire somebody to write another.
It'd be work because it's
100,000 lines of writing.
That's the problem, right? It's a real fix that needs to be done, but I don't hear that many people clamoring for it. There are people out there who are like, this game doesn't do what like New Leaf did for me or what OG Animal Crossing did for me or whatever, but there's just as many people who are just like, just shut up and be happy and enjoy it, it's a wonderful game, so who knows.
Well, I think a lot of the reason why it's not, and I was thinking about this recently, is because they're really focused on the online, you know, like human to human interactivity. So, you know,
Japanese, the title of the game is something like Animal Crossing Connect or something like that. Like it's focused on the
you mean
idea.
it came out on the Xbox?
Yeah, it's focused on the idea of playing with other people. So like that definitely is first and foremost. But unfortunately for me, Animal Crossing has always been kind of a solitary, you know, it's like this is my life sim game with all my villagers and stuff, you know? So I think for people like me, it's kind of lacking. But if you have like 7 other friends and you're going to each other's islands every day, then I'm sure there's a lot to do, you know?
I wonder if, and that's not to say too, I mean, because you spent a lot of time in this game, right? So it's
I put a lot of time into it because the beginning is very addictive, right? The beginning has a lot of like cell phone game elements where you're constantly unlocking new things and building materials and upgrading your thing. Like I put like 200 hours into this game, but the drop off rate for me compared to other Animal Crossings was so quick. Where like with New Leaf, I was playing the game for like 6 or 7 months before I stopped playing. With this one, I was in for about a month and a half, and then I was like, oh, suddenly I feel like I have nothing left to do.
So it kind of turned it from a 1,000-hour game probably to like, you know, where you're at now.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's just it is what it is. You know, it goes in line with my experience that I've had this generation with Nintendo of like these games feel like they're missing something, you know, that soul that I've talked about feels like it's missing again. But, you know, I know that that's not an experience that everyone is having. So I think part of it is just kind of like finding alternatives to Nintendo, you know, titles. But yeah, it's I don't know.
Sorry,
I
Nintendo, it's not you, it's me.
It's very strange for me because I am like a diehard Nintendo fanboy, right? But I feel like this generation I've really tapered off and I've been like exploring like indie games and stuff because a lot of the people that grew up in like my generation that played the kind of games I love are now making games and they're making them the way that I like them. So, you know.
Sure. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, that's kind of where we landed on Bug Fables, right? Because it feels very much like a game from people who loved Mario, Paper Mario.
Mario. Well, yeah, when you compare like a Bug Fables to like a Mario or Origami King, it's like, for me, there's no contest, you know? But, you know, there are plenty of people out there who like Origami King and more power to them. In other news, people on the internet were also upset when Super Mario 3D All-Stars came out. However, there have been 2 updates to that game. One of them is that it now supports GameCube controllers, so you can now play the
correctly, I might add.
And you can now play with inverted controls for the FLUDD in Sunshine.
So Justin is just like beyond the moon. So I have one question though. Does this work with the click on the GameCube controller as well?
Yep.
Like it does.
I've seen a video. Yeah, it works exactly
awesome.
like the GameCube.
That's gonna make me dig out my adapter. It really
exactly.
is.
Me
too. All of you who went onto Twitter on day 1 to go, this game is awful. What a lazy port you did, Nintendo. I will be promptly returning it and buying it when used. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I hope your children disown you for this. Now you can apologize.
Sorry. No,
So,
I wasn't one of those people, but I am very excited for this.
I'll be real, like it didn't have any impact on me enjoying the game, but the inverted control thing threw me for a loop on day 1. It took like a good 10 hours of Sunshine to get used to like up is up and down is down now, you know, but again, I didn't really care because.
So are you going to go back and play it again and have to readjust again, or how's that going to work?
No, honestly, I put so much time into it as a kid that when I do pick it up again, I'm sure it'll just be like, you know, intrinsic to me that the inverted controls are how it's supposed to be. I'm still like
once I got everything like adjusted and figured out how I remembered it being. And yeah, it's second nature. But yeah, the initial adjustment of the way it was before the patch was just like jarring. But
yeah,
now I can pop it in, play it, and I'm like, oh yeah, just like it used to be.
And I'm still 3 shine sprites out from actually 100%ing that game for the first time, so that would be nice. But it's all those blue coin ones that are so hard to get, so we shall see. The last bit of news I have is probably the most boring, so it was stupid of me to save it for last, but if you're like a Justin type, you'll probably appreciate it. The Black Friday Nintendo Switch Mario Kart bundle hits stores Sunday, November 22nd, and it includes a 3-month Nintendo Online Pass. So if you somehow have avoided getting a Nintendo Switch all this time, but you managed to listen to a Nintendo-themed podcast every week, now's your opportunity to get Mario Kart, a Switch, and 3 months of Nintendo Online, all for one low price. Also, I think a bunch of Nintendo games are like $40 right now in like the eShop or something. Justin's nodding his head yes. He's our resident price man. So
I don't know in the eShop, but I will discuss a sale that I recently took advantage of when it's my turn. So
cool. Well, that's kind of all the news we had to talk about. So why don't we make that the transition, and you can talk about a sale that you recently had now that it's your turn.
All right. Oh, so I was gonna check my wish list to see if anything I wanted was on sale while you talked. GameStop actually had a sale recently where a bunch of Switch games, first-party Switch games, were $40, and so I picked up a digital copy of Yoshi's Crafted World, a game that I just couldn't bring myself to spend $60 on, but I was okay with spending $40 on it. I'm gonna say the same thing I did about Kirby last week, in that I kind of miss when these franchises were actually challenging platformers. But I have discovered that since I do a lot of my gaming lately while laying in bed with my wife sleeping next to me, it's kind of nice having these slow-paced, relaxing exploration based platformers, so because I tried playing stuff like Cuphead and was it Super Mario Brothers 35 and Super Mario Maker and stuff like that while laying in bed, and it's just kind of hard to relax. It's kind of hard to like lay in bed and be relaxed and also play these games. So it is kind of nice to have something like Yoshi's Crafted World, which I can just lay in bed and play slowly and casually and not have to worry about getting too excited and waking my wife up.
I ordered myself one of those headrest things that holds my Switch in front of me, by the way, so I'm excited for it to come in.
I mean, I got the, and I've shown this before, the thing that you wrap around your neck and that holds the thing in place. I got one from Walmart. It broke on me finally after about a year, so I got another one at Dollar General. I think it's got to be the same brand because it's got a little like Q on it. That works well for me. The only problem is it does hold it a little too close to my face, but it's like a big screen experience. Yeah,
I got one from Amazon. That's probably like the same, Chinese brand knockoff thing or whatever. So
yeah, they all come from the same factory, but for some reason have 7 different brand names. Exactly. But so I've played a few levels on that. I'm enjoying it more than I expected it to. Again, because it's a nice kind of shut your brain off, play something for half hour and then go to sleep sort of game. I also started a game a few days ago that I actually have had in my collection for months and never booted up. It's on my Xbox One. I started playing Elite Dangerous. I had heard about it in a YouTube video about the largest game worlds. And I'd been looking for a space exploration open world game, especially since playing Starlink and getting kind of the bug for open world space games through that. And it was on sale a few months ago. And so I picked up the deluxe edition and then never played it. And then I saw one of my friends that I follow on Twitter. I don't remember exactly who it is. I want to say it's Jason Lee. So give him a shout out anyway, because he is one of our friends of the show. But anyway, I did see somebody playing it and said, I've had this on my Xbox for months. I haven't played it. So I started playing it, got through the tutorial, and said, wow, that took forever. I don't feel like playing anymore. So maybe I'll get to do some actual space exploration tonight. Besides those couple of things and a few scattered, things, Animal Crossing, still, digging or still chopping down my money trees every day and replanting those. But aside from that, I have done a little bit of retro gaming here, as I mentioned earlier in the show. Picked myself up a little Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch.
And you're not the only one. Steve also has one.
Well,
2.
oddly enough, probably
2.
the game that I have spent the most amount
2?
of time.
He had to get
we'll
one
get
that he
there.
could keep in box, Eugene. Come on.
Exactly.
Hey, I
that
did
one's
the
on
same
my
thing with
desk
Super
at work.
Mario 3D All-Stars. So
See?
I'm just picturing the emoji of Donkey Kong shaking his head and Diddy Kong stomping on the.
Oh,
you mean the
funny.
one I
I'm
have in
picturing the
my
Monopoly
Discord?
man pulling out his pockets because he has no money and he has to go to jail.
There's that.
So anyway, I think in the day or so that I've had this, I've put the most time into Ball.
Just
Like the Game & Watch
your
game?
Any time into.
mom.
Oh boy.
What was that, Steve?
That's the one game I haven't put any time into. I've played Mario Brothers. I've played, the Lost Levels. I've not put any time into Ball.
I will be honest. If Nintendo wants to re-release, if they want to give us a Game & Watch collection, Game & Watch, I would totally buy that because I would love. I heard somebody
I'd buy
say
2.
or read. Yeah,
And the Japanese
somebody
version.
said it's a shame that they released a Mario version of Ball, which was never a Mario game to begin with, instead of the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch game that actually did exist. That would have made a little bit more sense. But I would love to just have one of these that has all of the original Game & Watch games on them, so I can sit here and play, all of my favorites and all the ones that I'd never played before. But it's a neat little device.
It's bigger. Hold it up again. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's
about the size of probably a little bit bigger than like a credit card. I mean, here's my iPhone. iPhone 11 Plus, and so this is about how big it is compared to a Pro Plus. So, those of you listening to the audio version, your SOL, you'll have to imagine it.
TV/Infendo Radio.
No, they got their imaginations. They got this.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I think Steve will concur that it is a fun little toy, probably not worth $50 unless you are a diehard Nintendo fan and consumer whore. But with that being said, let me pass this on to our other resident consumer whore. Steve, what do you have to tell us about your Game & Watch experience?
I can transition off this nicely. I ended up I've bought a total of 3.
Wait, I'm leaving.
Hang on. No. Not all of them are for me. Not all of them are for
needed
me.
one of them to go with the 3 Power Ranger masks you bought.
I mean, you're not wrong, and I have been tempted, actually. So I bought mine on Amazon about an hour before Justin did, and because I live in a city, I got mine 2 days before Justin did. And then I had gone up to go see my parents, and I knew that somebody else that I worked with would want one, or had wanted one, but she knew that she wouldn't be able to find it. So I happened to go for a ride with my mom because she won't really go anywhere. And so she took me to Starbucks, and then we went to Target, and I was able to actually buy 2 more, one for me for new in box and one for the coworker. So I've bought 3, and I've pointed another coworker towards a possible 4th one. I was going to try and get with him before the show to see if he actually got it, but I don't know.
This reminds me of back in the GameCube era when I went out and bought 4 Game Boy Advance SPs so that I could play, Four Swords Adventures with all of my friends. The difference was I wasn't buying these for all of my friends to just sit there and play a 1-player game all by myself in my own home.
So I see this problem goes back very, very long in your timeline of purchasing.
So for me,
spending a crap ton of money on Nintendo stuff, hell yeah.
Did your mother refuse to show you public signs of affection when you were growing up?
No, my parents just refused to buy me any more video game systems after the original Nintendo, so I had to buy them all myself.
And how does that make you feel?
Poor.
So for me, this harkens back to the Wii days because everybody in my family has always known I'm the one that you go to find weird, rare electronics. So I hunted down, I don't know how many Wiis back in the day when you had to hunt those down. We're right there.
Your mom
again.
hunts down Wiis at night.
I did that
Damn
too,
it.
but because I
So-
worked at
better than
GameStop.
mine.
So sorry,
Oh,
GameStop Inc. I used my my privilege of working there to sell a few Wiis on the side.
So all that being said, I was pleasantly surprised with it. I've put a lot more time into it than I thought I was going to. And there's quite a few little secrets hidden away. If you want to hear about those, Google them. I'm not going to spoil them here.
I am disappointed that one that I was hoping existed does not. I really wanted to play the original Super Mario Brothers as Luigi without having to put it in 2-player mode, but thus far I haven't figured out how.
But you
if
can play
at all.
ball as Luigi.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're gonna have to hack it.
Yeah, which
Well-
can be done. I watched a video, but it requires all kinds of soldering, and that's way above me.
Yeah, that I can't do. Oh my
the one
god, I
thi-
just noticed something. The serial number begins BAL, which probably stands for balls since it's the same style.
And the
of-
side of the box, it's the model number SM-35. The other thing I did do this week that I wanted to talk about during my Change the System, Lucas and I played a game together, but we'll save that for a minute.
Yeah, I'll be talking all about that, so you don't even have to dive in there, baby boo.
So, and this is going to be a weird flip-flop for me and Lucas, but I started Skyrim again, finally.
Oh wow.
The last time I started Skyrim, I think, was right before Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze came out. Put about 5 hours into it, did the Golden Claw quest, and then when I was supposed to go to when I was supposed to go to Whiterun, I went to Winterhold instead.
That's right, because you're a nerd and you like magic like a nerd.
Yeah, I wanted to go to the
I
magic
just
college.
like hitting things with my sword and shooting things with my bow and arrow.
Ah,
I don't
a
think I've
true
increased
nerd.
any skills.
So I put a solid 5 hours into it back then. Lucas will tell you because he was on a call with me during those 5 hours.
Oh, we were playing, and he was like, I burned
Fire.
those bitches with fire.
Yeah, I have an affinity for fire in this game. That's kind of my element.
Hey, at least you're getting it out in Polygon form.
Local Utah man burns down cinema.
Right? So I finally started playing that again. I promised my buddy that passed away earlier this year, eventually I would play this game.
Hey,
and
here
I
you
can
are.
see him. I can hear him right now. He's like, it took me to die for you to play this game, because that's the type of individual he was. So here I am playing this game. Lucas, you're gonna have to help me out. What is the class that starts with a B that's one of the magic wielding classes? We
Well,
talked
they're not
about
really
this.
classes; they're races. But it's
Okay,
Breton.
races.
You started off as
Okay,
a
so I
Breton.
started as a Breton, and I did the Golden Claw quest again. This way, I kind of did it the way I was supposed to, and I was supposed to head to Winterhold, and the only reason I started with this race is because I wanted to do the Vampire Lord quest, and I was like, well, this race of people is resistant to diseases. I'm not going to be able to become a vampire.
And then I go, hey, you big stupid dummy,
like,
that
actually, you
vampirism
can.
is an in-game event. You can get it
Yeah.
no matter who you play as, you dumb.
So after spending another 2.5 to 3 hours playing as a what'd you call it, a Breton?
Breton.
Okay, Breton. After playing as a Breton, I abandoned that quest and started for the third time my save file in Skyrim. So now I'm playing as an Argonian, because that's the one I originally played as, and the one I wanted to play as. And I've done the Golden Claw quest a third time, and all 3 times I've done that quest, I've done it slightly different, which has been kind of cool. But I've played the same 2.5 hours of a game, and I've done it differently all 3 times.
Yeah, that's the type of game Skyrim is. From what I hear, anyways.
That's
you
what
know?
I love about it.
And
so
I'm
much.
loving it. And I'm right back to the point where I'm supposed to go to Whiterun, and this time I'm going to go to Whiterun so I can get the ability to use the dragon shouts, and then I'm going to do what I did the first time, where I head straight over to Winterhold and do all that kind of stuff, because that's what I want to do.
So let me tell you about the dragon shouts. I found a cave somewhere, or a mine somewhere, like some dwarves mine or whatever, and everything was up on like these scaffoldings, and so I was having the greatest time shouting my enemies off of the scaffoldings and just watching them go flying and plummeting to their deaths.
Oh, dude, there are some fun ones. On my evil character, I have the ability to like basically freeze time, like the villain from JoJo's. So like every time I go somewhere, I just run around, I freeze time, then I run around in a circle, slashing them with my sword. It's good fun. Good fun.
It just sounds like a whole lot of good fun sandbox-y.
It really is, but with a lot of like lore and characters and quests. It's just such a full game.
So let's talk about the lore for a second. So I did a thing. I think it was actually during last week's show, if I remember right. I happened to be perusing Amazon, and they have these books called Skyrim Volumes 1, 2, and 3. And they are physical books that contain all of the books and literature from inside the game of Skyrim.
Oh dear God!
It was on sale for $60, so naturally I had to buy it. So I'm reading those kind of on the side as I'm actually playing the game, which will be kind of cool because as I find these books in game, I can be like, oh, I'll probably read that book later in real life, or oh, I remember reading that one. That was the book that this was about.
You know, if I could get a Kindle version of that, I would probably actually read some of those. As it is, like, I never get rid of any of my books, and I also never read any of them either. So
that's how I am too.
I've got like a whole chest full of them.
So yeah, been playing that, and then Lucas and I did a thing.
Oh.
We kind of delved back into the game, so I'm going to let Lucas take over here. It is.
All right, so as you guys know, my main gaming hobbies include Shantae and Shovel Knight, but sometimes I like to take a break from all that and dive into one of my favorite games.
Eugene is so confused right now.
Minecraft. I've been playing...
I noticed you guys have been on Minecraft again lately.
I've been playing a lot of Minecraft.
You see what I mean by there's a weird juxtaposition right here? Normally Lucas is talking Skyrim.
Are we still in Banffle Stamp?
So here's the thing. Banffle Stamp still exists, and you're more than welcome to go there. But Steve and I were talking, and we were like, God, so many of our listeners have come and gone, like sands through the hourglass, and Banffle Stamp has so many old memories. We were like, we need a new world where just the good people can go. And right now, just the good people is Steve and myself. So I opened up a new realm that I named Dipstick, and now we live in Dipstick. Steve and I went out and we explored for a little bit. We found a little island that's really cool, and we set up a base there. I set up a bridge like on Outset Island and Wind Waker from one side of the mountain to the other. We've got a little wooden base. And then I went off on my own and I explored the Nether because, as you can see from Steve's background, if you're watching the show on YouTube or Twitch, they added a bunch of stuff to the Nether. It's kind of like the second area. Oh my
God! You changed your background because of the updates that they made. That's impressive.
So the Nether is kind of like the Dark World in The Legend of Zelda, right? It's kind of like a hell world that you can go to. Lots of lava, lots of
It was originally called Hell back in the day.
Yeah, and you get there by building a portal and going through it. They just did an update that changed it from kind of a generic, like one site, you've seen it kind of thing, to like now there's like forests with like boiling mushrooms and blue fire beaches and stuff like that. So I actually went off there while Steve was doing his thing, and I built a base in a bloody, crimson forest that I've been basically just like running around and harvesting the goods from all the like tough enemies and stuff. So that's been my thing, is I have this like giant tower now that I live in hell basically, and collecting goods so my mad scientist friend can turn them into workable things for me at some point. So that was Minecraft Bedrock.
Is Steve the mad scientist in this scenario?
Steve is the mad scientist. He knows
just
how to
had to
make
clarify
and stuff. Yeah. But then in Minecraft Java, which is a different so picture the Zelda timeline, right?
I can't believe Lucas is sitting here explaining Minecraft. I'm so
now
proud.
Picture Minecraft as Ocarina of Time. Minecraft Java is like Wind Waker, right? And Minecraft Bedrock is like Twilight Princess. They both became two different versions of the game and split off in their own directions. Java, as I understand it, was kind of the original OG Minecraft that they made a bunch of like, additions to and stuff. Whereas Bedrock was originally kind of like a mobile only experience that then became mainstream Minecraft for all the babies like me who don't know how to like put things in a specific place to craft them and stuff. So they play a little differently because it's kind of the same game, almost developed in two alternate realities. So my friends sat down with me the other day and they were like, we want to play Minecraft together. And I did on the PC. So I've been playing Java version on there. I'm much worse at it. I don't use a mouse. I use a trackpad. So I have to click like 18 times. And sometimes I end up murdering chickens that I don't mean to and stuff. I built a tiny little house underwater. We've got this whole like base that we're working on and everything. My friend Corey, his secret skill, so I build big, impressive monuments, right? Like I built a floating city in the sky. I built a city underwater with a big glass, riding railway and everything. Sure. I built a castle made entirely out of slime cubes so you can bounce in it and everything.
You filled my nether railway with slime cubes because you're a jerk.
Just for fun.
Filled your mom's nether railway with slime cubes.
Spot on, Jen. Spot on. So Steve is kind of like the technical one, right? He's like, oh, well, I can show you a way to create a chicken harvester that will pop eggs out into a bucket and make infinite chickens and that kind of stuff. So that's like Steve's specialty. Corey's specialty is he's got like that kid who grew up with Legos level of like quality for building. So he can like flip a stair in just the right way to create like a long window that you shouldn't be able to make. His creations don't look like blocky Minecraft buildings. They look very professional, like game design kind of like buildings. Yeah, he's very artistic with that. So he's been building, he likes to build smaller. So he's been building this kind of little, it almost kind of looks like a house you'd see in like Skyrim, right? Now he's got a little gate that goes up and down with redstone that he's been working on and stuff. I built a little house underwater.
Does he want to play Bedrock with us?
He doesn't have Bedrock, but I mean, maybe we could convince him.
Can we buy it for him? I mean, it's only like $30.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
if he has an Xbox, it's
I'd love to get him in
Game
Dipstick,
Pass.
But yeah, so we've been playing, a little bit. I only played the one night. They were on again the other night, but I went to bed like crazy early, so I missed it. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of Minecraft, which is odd for me, but I'm enjoying it. I'm starting to taper off a little bit, mostly because I've been playing a lot by myself. I played that one night with Steve, but we really haven't gotten on again. I played that one night with Cody and Corey, but we haven't really gotten on again. So then after playing with like other people and having a lot of fun, when I go on by myself, it's just kind of like, well, this is quiet, isn't it? And there's nothing to do. So, I'll probably need other people to keep me motivated in that game. But it's a fun time. It's a good way to kind of unwind after a long, hard day and just kind of like put the world behind you,
Which is exactly what you needed right now. Actually.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not eating much because I'm trying to lose weight again and stuff. So like I'm going through all the hunger pangs and like all the stuff that comes with that. So it's a good distractor from all of that as I'm like laying there at 9 o'clock at night and I'm like, dear God, I want to bake pizza, So, that's nice. And that's really kind of all I've been playing. I did a little Pokemon Go. Nothing special. I did the Electabuzz event over the weekend, but I was actually out at a nature trail with a couple of friends. So I only caught 2 of them because I was a little distracted. I really haven't been playing like anything else on Switch, to be honest. So I did a little more Phasmophobia. I've talked about that at length, both on the show and on my YouTube channel. Nothing special there. We just got together and played a few rounds of that. Still a great game. Kind of tapped out. I mean, there's not really much more to do. It's just the same things over and over again. They are adding some new stuff. They just added the ability when you die as a ghost to be able to like pick up objects and throw them at people. So I was having fun jump scaring my friends by throwing hammers at them while they were hiding from the ghost. And they're adding a new prison level soon. Well, I say it's a one-man operation, but he's adding a new prison level soon, so that's cool. But yeah, just it's a small game, so it's kind of just something you do with friends. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Eugene, what have you been up to?
Well, funny you should ask. I think that where I should start is actually a game that, surprise, surprise, nobody is going to be surprised at what I'm talking about, Pokemon Go. But I will say that I got in and I did the Pokemon Home thing finally and transferred a few Pokemon. And by a few, I mean 2, because that stuff's expensive, man. Like, I wanted to... So this is what I want to do. I want to build out my entire Pokemon Home now, but I want to try and build it out with like shiny and a regular of every Pokemon. But if you,
dear God,
and you say I'm crazy.
Well, because I have a lot of shinies in Pokemon Go, so I need to offload them somewhere.
But you can transfer about 3.5, and then you have to wait a week or pay like $10. Yeah.
It's sad, and then I ain't gonna pay $10 for that.
Project to work on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
See, that's. Sorry, Eugene, this is your segment, but that's kind of where I am with it. Like, I got the transfer, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I can finally bring over all my shinies." Mm-hmm. Then I look at my shinies, and I'm like, "I'm never gonna use any of these." So I just brought over like 2 random ones, and I was like, "Yay! I did it! I guess." So,
I got my
but I'm not paying $10 to do it again. Yeah, no. So I'm waiting for my cooldown to go again, and then I reevaluated my life, and I think that when the cooldown is over, I'm gonna start with just regular Pokemon, because I think you can do up to like, I don't know the number, but a lot more than the shinies you can. So I'm gonna start there so I can start building out my Kanto Pokédex, and then I'll work my way up to, you know, everything that I can do from Pokemon Go, which is going to be exciting because my Pokemon Home right now is pretty barren. So in the meantime, what I have done is I downloaded the expansion for Pokemon Sword and Shield, both of them actually, because I haven't played either. Haven't dug into it at all, but I am definitely excited to do so because that's a lot of content right there waiting for me. So stay tuned, folks. Yeah, other than that, not a whole lot, honestly. Smash Brothers, I think a few weeks ago I talked about how bad I was with Minecraft Steve. I'm getting better with Minecraft Steve, guys. I don't know why, but I like him. I'm not good with him. I won't say go that far. I'm not good with them.
What has
but I just
happened
like
how
I'm
different
playing
he is. Skyrim, Lucas is playing Minecraft, Eugene is using Minecraft Steve.
Justin's only made 2 your mom jokes.
Yeah, it's raining cats and dogs around here in Infendo Radio Land. But no, I mean that's really it, guys. So I think we're just gonna toss it over to the question block because we're running a little bit long. So let's just dive right into that, unless Stukas, you have something that you would like to add.
Thanks, Poogene. Yes. So yeah, I just wanted to mention real quick for those of you who are, obsessive about playing your Pokemon and stuff, just a PSA. When you transfer these guys over, they're not going to retain like their nickname or anything. If you want to do any of that stuff, you get 1 chance to rename them when you go to the renamer guy in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So just a heads up, if you're someone like me who was kind of like freaked about that and wanted to make sure that they were okay, that's a thing. But, it's small potatoes. Just wanted to make sure you knew what was going on. Ding!
Thank you. The more you know. We appreciate you. Okay, well, I know I have the question block question open. I don't know if anybody else had it open and wanted to read it. No takers? All right, well, here we go. Slacker Money asks, what is one memory you cherish from growing up that you are willing to share? He doesn't specify video game related, but since I already had a time to stew on this a bit, I will start. Mine is video game related. I just remember playing and unboxing Ocarina of Time right around this time of the year, actually, and just playing the hell out of it until after Christmas into the new year. It took me a whole year to beat that game. I was a wee lad, but it was a fun year because then I remember it being around this time again, like right around Thanksgiving when I finally wrapped it up, because my family, I would take my Nintendo 64 everywhere because I was that kid. So like when I would go to my aunt's house, I would plug it into the console, into their TV, and play after we had dinner. And the parents were talking about stuff that I didn't really care about. So my uncles and aunts, they would always ask me, okay, what's the latest in your video game or whatever. So I would like go to like, a cool new area that I just got, like the lake Hyrule. Like that was one of the cool things, and showing my uncle how to fish. My uncle bought himself this game to fish. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, he bought Ocarina of Time just to have the ability to fish.
That's commitment, considering it takes a while before you can even get to that point.
Guess who got to get him that far, though? I did. Because I was, the oldest. My cousins were a little bit younger than me, so they weren't quite as skilled with the controller as I was. But, I got Uncle over to the fishing area, and I wouldn't be surprised if he still digs out the Nintendo 64 to play Cruisin' USA and fishing on Ocarina of Time. So that's my memory, just like kind of sharing video games with my family.
Well, I'd like to cheat and share two memories, because one of them I've shared on the show before, so it'll be quick. But I figure, there's probably some of you out there who haven't heard this yet. When I got my Nintendo Wii, the way that worked was I had a sleepover at my friend John Cope's house. This was 2009. So, wait, no, when did the Wii come out? It wasn't 2009. When did the Wii come out? Help me out here, boys.
The original Wii
2007.
was... Yeah.
2007. Okay, I was going to say, so I was a little old for sleeping over at friends' houses, but no, 2007 would have been okay, right around that age.
I think it was 2006, actually, but I'm going to look that up.
It was around that time period. But anyway, he was either a high school or a middle school friend, because I went to a junior, senior high, so it all blended together. And, I went over there, we hung out, we played Soul Calibur together for a while, we went to sleep early. And he was like, hey, I'm going to go get a Wii in the morning. So you want to come with me? Cause you're here anyway. And I was like, sure, that seems like a fun use of my time. Stand out in the freezing cold at 3 a.m. waiting to get into a Best Buy. So I do that. And my parents knew I did that and everything. And I wasn't planning on getting the system. And then my parents drove up because they knew I was there. And they were like, surprise, you're getting the system too. And I was like, no way. And that was really fun. And then I went home and I played like Wii Sports for like an entire month.
I loved that. Oh my God.
I miss those built-in games, like the AR card games on 3DS, that that was enough to keep
Face
my
Raiders, man.
Yeah, man. I wish that because even the Wii U had like Nintendo Land. It wasn't built in, but it was like okay, you're gonna play this till Christmas game.
Because who got the 16 gigabyte console? Who got that white one? Nobody. I didn't.
Yeah. So that was a memory. And the other fun thing with that was, as soon we were like 13th, I was 13th in line. And once I found out I was getting the system, they were like, all right, we're sure that we have 12 of them. And I was like, oh, but they obviously had more because I ended up getting it. My other memory, and this only really just popped into my head because Eugene mentioned it, was as a young lad, I very much enjoyed the movie Shrek. As an adult, I still very much enjoy the movie Shrek. It's a timeless classic that teaches a message of love and self-acceptance no matter what you look like. But I went to see it with my Uncle Bill, who was the cool uncle who would do weird stuff. He built an airplane in his garage, that kind of stuff. And we went to see the movie, and then we went to the mall. And of course, we didn't see the mall. We didn't go to the mall in like a normal person way. We snuck into like the employee entrance and like snuck our way into the mall because, again, he was a weird guy, but he was the cool uncle. And we went to the GameStop there, and he was like, all right, we're gonna get you a Shrek game because you like the movie so much. And I got this like Game Boy, I think it was a straight up Game Boy Advance Shrek game that was just like it was a fighting game.
I think I played that game.
And it wasn't that good, but like he was like, how is it? And I was like, I love it, because like it wasn't about the game, it was about like the day and how like special it was to me. And I actually ended up playing a lot of it because like, you know, it was a warm memory kind of thing. But yeah, that was a thing.
Shrek Super Slam.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was
looked
it.
it up.
That was it.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could play as like all the different characters, and it was just like a fighting.
But it was
game
on the
and stuff.
DS. At least that's where I played it.
No,
They-
mine
oh
was
wait! Oh, it was
definitely-
on everything. Just kidding. It was on
mine
everything.
mine was definitely old school, like Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, no, it was there too. Yeah, it was
but
on every. Oh my lord, everything.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a thing. So those are my memories.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, so before we move on to the next person, we
Screw all of you and your memories.
Nintendo Wii, November 19th, 2006. So just so we, you know.
Cool. So I was about 15. So I'm gonna say still acceptable to be sleeping over at a friend's house when you're 15 years old.
I mean, I did it
still
up
having
until high school.
sleep-
Hey, if
I was
I
like,
lived
you
near
get-
you
get a bunch
guys,
of
I'd be
friends
having
over.
you over at night. So
Well, exactly. You get a bunch of friends over, you know, some Mountain
4
Dews and
controllers
pizza and-
of some sort, and yeah.
Yep.
So you
Some Mario
guys are doing
Party.
this wrong. I for Halloween went over to a buddy's house. We got drunk. I didn't want to drink and drive, so I stayed the night.
well, the other thing
WWF No
about that,
Mercy.
the other thing about that story is we were playing Soul Calibur, obviously, so you know there were a lot of characters to choose from, and John went right for Ivy because she's got like, you know, the giant breasts and everything, and I played as the brown-haired girl with like the sword and shield who was like really wholesome and sweet, and that just kind of that defined like my life when it comes to like women and types. Like that's been kind of a constant for me. But
Sure.
yeah, that was a thing.
Well,
Sophia?
I was gonna say Sophia
sounds
or
about
something.
right.
So I.
See, I only
I
ever
think
played
it's
Soul
Sophia.
Calibur at his
I don't know.
house.
She has a younger sister in one of the games, so I can't
Oh
remember
boy,
which one.
there's lore in Soul Calibur. I'll tell you what. Justin,
God.
do you have a memory you would like to share?
All right. I mean, I guess since we're sharing video game related memories, even though it wasn't specified, probably one of my favorite video game related memories was, parents get your kids out of the rooms or skip this next part. The year I found Santa's presents in my mother's bedroom closet because
I wasn't sure where this was going. It was
Me neither. I'm glad
So I
this
had-
is the direction.
so I had just discovered the
Santa
joys of
and
a
your
woman's
mom,
body.
I know there's something there.
When Feel the Magic XXX Light.
Oh,
yeah, so I wanted Donkey Kong Country for Christmas, and you know, like I said, the Super Nintendo, you know, from the Super Nintendo onward, my parents pretty much stopped buying me games. I had to buy them myself, and I didn't know whether I should go buy it, you know, save up my money and buy it myself, or I was getting it for Christmas. So I went snooping around and figured out where my mother was hiding the Christmas presents, and I found Donkey Kong Country in the closet. And this was probably right about this time of the year.
How old were you, out of curiosity? Because the
Oh, what
Santa
the-
thing was a slow burn for me, and in like my teenage years, I was like, "Yeah, I know, but he's real in our hearts," you know. Like we did the Santa thing for a long time.
Well,
Like,
all right, my family still does the Santa thing, and I'm the youngest at 30, almost 39. So, you know, let's see, Donkey Kong Country came out the winter or fall of 94, I want to say. So I
was.
would have been 12 going on 13.
yeah, I'm not sure I would have been old enough to have known to look in my parents' closets. I would have been like, "I guess we're waiting for Santa."
Well,
Mine had to
and-
move stuff to the motorhome, and they would hide the key, so I couldn't get in there.
See, and I'd never gone looking for Christmas presents before, and according to my mother, she almost never hid stuff in the house because my parents owned their own business with a big stock room, so you know she had plenty of places to hide things. But yeah, I found Donkey Kong Country in my parents' closet, And then I had to, like I said, it was right around this time, about mid-November, and I had to spend the next month or so pretending I didn't know I was getting Donkey Kong Country. And my mother
watching
was
the commercials on TV for it,
Oh my
probably.
God.
I never wanted to do that because it would ruin the moment.
I never
of
did
Christmas.
it again.
Yeah, like
Never did it again.
you open it and you're like, oh yeah.
Oh no, I faked it. I faked it good. I mean, I don't know. Maybe my mother wasn't convinced, but she pretended she was. But the funny part was my mother was smart that year. I don't know whether she noticed that stuff had been moved around and figured I'd found it or what, but she started packing like the presents in other shaped and sized boxes that year. So when I opened Donkey Kong Country finally on Christmas morning, I went, oh my God, it's Donkey Kong Country. Like I've been looking at, I'm like, this can't be it. This isn't the size of a Super Nintendo box. So
Gotcha.
yeah. So as far as video game related and my experience with that was much like yours, Eugene, with Ocarina of Time, where I just like every year when we get the nice upstate New York snowfall, I'm reminded of that year when I got it and seeing the snowfall in the Donkey Kong Country level. I'm like, oh my God, it looks exactly like it does out there.
Yeah, that's such a. I mean, you know, I don't know if I'll ever get that again for a video game. You know, it's just nostalgia, doing nostalgia things. But yeah, I just, you know, that Ocarina of Time, that's it for me.
Donkey Kong Country, A Link to the Past, and Ocarina of Time, and maybe to a lesser extent Super Mario 64 are probably like the defining moments of my video game life, aside from like, you know, the games we had on ColecoVision. But like those are the moments of just pure awe and wonderment.
It does kind of make you think. I totally forgot about this when we were doing Change the System. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII. And it kind of makes you think, because it's like our generation, and I guess to a greater degree, your generation really, kind of defined what the, like, you know, masterpieces of gaming are, you know, like Ocarina of Time, Final Fantasy VII, Super Mario 64. Like, these are the games that all games must be compared to. And like, you go back and you play them and you're like, yeah, I get it, but also like, oh boy, this is rough, you know? Like, like we got to kind of like define that stuff with nostalgia, but it makes you wonder if in like 40 years, if video games are still popular, everyone's going to be going, man, they just don't make them like Fortnite anymore, you know?
Well, that's going to be it, right? It's going to be your Fortnites, your Minecrafts are going to be like your staples, you know?
Back before we had all these macro transactions and everybody just had those microtransactions to deal with. Those were the good days, you know?
God, it's going to be like Minecraft version 3.7.
Don't give them any idea. What is a Mac?
Game developers, I'm Steve, a young developer looking to sell my soul. Would you like some ideas?
You know what my good old days of gaming are? Steve, you haven't had turn to answer this yet, have you?
No,
I'd also like to point out we're on question 1. I don't know how many there are.
1.
Oh, thank God.
my golden age of gaming is there are 2. Number 1 is, you know, the N64 when I had all of the multiplayer games, and number 2 was the mid Xbox 360 era when my friends and I would get together and just play hours of Rock Band. I still have my drum set with the cymbals and like my 2 guitar controllers and my bass controller with the split strum bar.
I didn't have that.
I never liked Hero and Rock
Band. I played mostly bass, so I had to have the good bass controller.
I sucked at it too, but it was fun, so that's why I always sang poorly.
Yeah.
But
so for me, and it's kind of funny that I would follow Justin in this, but for me, my childhood memory is also video game related, and it's even Donkey Kong related, but it's slightly different than that. My parents got me the Super Nintendo and Donkey Kong Country bundle for Christmas one year that I found in the closet, blah, blah. So, you know, basically the same story.
Y'all a bunch of damn dirty liars.
For me, it wasn't so much finding the system, it was playing the games with them. I remember they got me Donkey Kong Country the year it came out for Christmas. The year Donkey Kong Country 2 came out, that was a Christmas present. And same with Donkey Kong Country 3. And for me, it was actually sitting down with my parents and finding all the secrets. And in fact, I was never able to 100% the original Donkey Kong Country with all the secrets because some of them were so hard to find. Until I played the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I did it on the Game Boy Advance re-release with the player's guide. Was the first time I ever did it. And now because of that, I know where they all are, so I can do it, on the Virtual Console versions. But that was the fun for me, is me and my mom and dad would just sit in front of the TV for hours. I remember one of the levels that we could never find it in was Forest Frenzy in the original Donkey Kong Country. And we would just, I would play through the level, wouldn't have any ideas. I'd give the controller to my mom. She would play, wouldn't have any ideas. My dad would take the controller. He'd try a couple things, no ideas. We would just pass that around like night after night after night. It was just so much fun.
See, my dad never played video games, and my mother barely played video games after the ColecoVision. Like, she got hooked on Tetris briefly, and she's still kind of hooked on Dr. Mario. But aside from that, like after the ColecoVision got put away, my parents, my brother, sister, none of them really played video games after that. I was the only one.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, the secret that we can never find in Forest Frenzy, there is a rope that goes from the left side to the right side, and then it stops. But just before it stops, there's a barrel hidden just below the edge of the screen that you can barely see.
I always hate the hidden barrel ones. Always hate those ones.
What about the one it's in one of the factory levels where there's
I know which one.
Where's the bonus room inside the bonus room, and you have to get the barrel?
We found that one. We actually found that one because we got the barrel from the single banana on accident one time, and then it's like the bonus level ends, and it's like, well, what the heck? And so one of us finally figured out to grab it and run as quick as possible to get it to open. So yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one until, YouTube, which is pretty much the only way I've ever 101%ed that game.
Yeah. So that was my favorite video game memory.
Awesome. All right. Well, it looks like we've just about made it there, folks. Fun episode this time. It's fun to get the whole gang back together again. So that was a good time. I don't have to tell you guys to vote anymore unless you live in Georgia, because, you know what's going on there. But
guys, get ready, because the 2024 elections are only 4 years away, so get yourself registered.
Actually,
we're not done yet, boys and girls.
So I will tell you all to go wear a mask if you're going out.
Oh my God,
if you're in New Mexico, like for real,
you guys are shut down.
Don't go out. Just
we should be shut down, but we're Florida, so we have to take matters into our own hands.
If a car dealership sells a car in New Mexico right now, it's a $50,000 fine per transaction.
Yeah, no, they're taking it for reals around here. So thank goodness our governor doesn't care about all the naysayers who thinks that COVID is a hoax. If you are one of those naysayers, I've got some articles for you to read. How have you been
listening to the show this long? We've made a lot of comments about things you probably don't like.
True, also true. Don't be an idiot. If you're gonna go out, wear a mask, but don't go out if you don't have to. Like, come on, people, let's be safe. Yeah. All right. Until next time, we'll catch you guys later on. For everybody from Infendo Radio, here's a big sloppy kiss. Bye.
That just completely derailed my train of thought.
Bye.
See you real soon.
We just got a weird message in our chat.
Spam.
Would you
spam? Get out of here, spam. I guess we'll catch you guys later on.
We finally made it. We're big enough to get spam.